everybody! 大家好! I welcome you to Jade Palace Yamingong. My name is Yaya. An Empress's Cinderella story from maid to queen. So, let's get started. A servant turned empress, WeiZiFu was an empress of the Western Han Dynasty. She reigned for 38 years, making her the second longest reigning empress in Chinese history. Like any good Cinderella story, our heroine wasn't born into luxury. WeiZiFu was possibly born between 148 and 153 BCE during the Western Han Dynasty. She was the fourth child and youngest daughter of a serf. Her father died when she was very young, and her mother was a servant at Princess Pingyang Gongzu's household. From a young age, she was chosen to be a singer at the princess's household. She was taught the art of dancing, singing, playing music, playing chess, and writing calligraphy, making her well accomplished in the arts. Her mother was a servant and her father a serf. She really wasn't going to rise in position either way. WeiZiFu was going to grow up to be a lower class citizen anyways. The fact that she was trained wasn't surprising. However, the course of her life would change. Princess Pingyang was the sister of Emperor Han Wudi, and WeiZiFu would be used as a political chess piece for the emperor's sister to gain favor with him. The princess invited the emperor to her palace and tried to garner his favor by preparing a collection of women that he could choose to take as his concubine or concubines. All of the girls came from nicer or at least decent backgrounds where their family had some sort of connection. Girls from lowly backgrounds were not considered, so WeiZiFu was not part of this group. However, all of her candidates failed to impress the emperor. She saw that he was disappointed, and she quickly tried to dispel his boredom and called for her in-house dancers to perform for entertainment. Immediately, the emperor was attracted to WeiZiFu. She was beautiful and she was graceful. Seeing this, the princess took advantage of the opportunity. She offered the dancer to the emperor, who of course accepted. He was so happy that he rewarded the princess 1,000 gold pieces on the spot. He and WeiZiFu consummated that night, and when he returned to the palace, he brought her and her half-brother, Wei Qing, back with him. How did a lowly concubine ascend to be empress? It wasn't easy. WeiZiFu wasn't the first empress, nor was she the first wife of Emperor Han Wudi. When the emperor brought her back, the current empress at that time, Empress Chen, was furious. She had been childless, and this new addition made her feel threatened. To appease his wife, WeiZiFu was not made into a concubine. Instead, she was turned into a servant girl. Our Cinderella had to endure more hardships right when she thought she finally found a break. For an entire year, WeiZiFu slaved away as a palace maid, and during that year, the emperor neglected and forgot about her. Men. Servant girls were allowed to leave and retire when they reached a certain age. After a year, WeiZiFu couldn't take it anymore and tried to sneak in with a line of servants to leave. But, lo and behold, the emperor just happened to be present at that inspection. She begged him to let her leave, and seeing her tearful face, the emperor fell head over heels in love with her again and finally made her into a concubine. Empress Chen was not happy. Even more so when WeiZiFu becomes pregnant very shortly after being promoted. Emperor Han Wudi was ecstatic because he had been upset about Empress Chen's infertility. He even thought that he himself was to blame. WeiZiFu's pregnancy completely dispelled that doubt. Even with her exceeding jealousy, there was very little she could do. WeiZiFu was now under the emperor's direct protection, which left little room for the empress to touch her. However, her mother devised a plan to seek revenge by kidnapping her half-brother, Qing, who had been working as a stable boy. It worked, until he managed to get rescued by his friends, who reported the entire situation to the emperor. As retribution, the emperor publicly promoted WeiZiFu to consort, 夫人, a position right beneath the empress. He also appointed Wei Qing a triple role: chief of Jianzhang camp, chief of staff, and chief counselor, making him a very important figure in Emperor Han Wudi's court. WeiZiFu would monopolize the emperor's love for over a decade, bearing him 3 daughters in this time. Around 130 BCE, it was discovered that the empress had resorted to using witchcraft to curse the other consorts in order to regain her husband's love. This was an ultimate taboo, and when she was found guilty, she was officially deposed and exiled to a remote palace. With the empress gone, this left a position open, since now the emperor had no principal official wife. When WeiZiFu gave birth to the emperor's first son, Liu Zhi, in 129 BCE, the emperor was overjoyed and immediately made her empress later that year. Also, the fact that Wei Qing also gained the first Han victory against the Xiongnu really helped cement this decision. And that was how a lowly servant girl managed to become an empress of the Western Han dynasty. Her son, Liu Zhi, was also made into crown prince in 122 BCE. Unlike many women who attained the position of empress, who would usually take advantage of their position to grab at power, WeiZiFu was recorded to remain polite, modest, and soft-spoken. Even Sima Qian, the legendary historian, who had always been critical of Emperor Han Wudi's extended families, praised her. He described WeiZiFu as 家夫德若斯, which meant that she was fine in virtues. Usually, when we see a rise of position, especially that of an empress, she would normally take advantage of her new promotion to give more power to that of her family. WeiZiFu did not. I'm not saying that she didn't promote her family's position and status, because she did, but she wasn't throwing them around like breadcrumbs in a pond of ducks. By 123 BCE, her family had 5 marquises and attained top family honor, which is remarkable for a family that used to be at serf level, meaning that her family's promotions were all well thought out. She was well known to keep peace and encourage her family to be good and not create trouble. WeiZiFu did her job so well that a folk song was sung about her. 生男无喜，生女无怒，独不见WeiZiFu霸天下. Meaning, nothing to be happy if you bore a son, nothing to be angry if you bore a daughter. Don't you see? WeiZiFu dominates the world. Unlike the previous empress, WeiZiFu didn't lash out at younger concubines, but instead treated them with kindness. WeiZiFu remained polite, elegant, and respectful throughout her time as empress. Even as she got older, even as the emperor was no longer attracted to her looks, he still respected her as his wife and empress, as well as her decisions. And she was an amazing empress that would always help the emperor. He trusted her so much that while he was out any of her decisions as de facto leader, he wouldn't need to review and approve. Whenever he was away from the capital, every time she wanted to inform him about important decisions, he wouldn't even need to listen to them. He fully trusted her judgment on palace affairs. That just shows you how successful she was, even more so due to the great achievements of her family members that really helped strengthen the empire. Later Han emperors believed that taking concubines with the surname Wei would bring them good luck. That was how a lowly servant girl became one of the most influential empresses in Chinese history. However, she doesn't get her fairy tale ending. Instead, it ends more like a Shakespearean tragedy. I have a Teespring if you'd like to support the channel. I have a lot of super cute designs that I'm really proud of, so please check it out if you can. Link is in the description below. So what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on the Cinderella Empress? Leave a comment down below because I would like to know. You can also let me know what topics you'd like to see me cover in the future. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to Jade Palace Yamingong. I would very much appreciate it. The next video will be about her tragic ending. So stay tuned. 再见了，拜拜。